Hello foodies, I am Chef Kate of Baller Food, and this is Baller Bites, where I'm on the hunt for the best bites in the north. In this episode, we're grabbing lunch and dessert in Prince George, because my mother always used to say, your meal is not complete until you end with something sweet. But first, coffee. Today, we're caffeinating at a new local cafe in the heart that serves mind-blowing celiac sweets from a variety of local bakers and also supports 20 local vendors in their artisan section. Afterwards, we're going to be hitting up the hottest little lunch spot in Prince George. It's downtown, and they serve a variety of locally sourced in-house smoked meats, sweets, and gourmet sandos. I can't wait. So that's what we've got on the menu today at Baller Bites. Let's give it a go. All right, so I am here up in the heart at the Open Door Cafe that was opened by a husband and wife team in 2021 when they were vending just from a tent. Now they have a brick and mortar up here in the heart, and they serve everything from hot and cold coffee drinks, teas, specialty lemonades, smoothies, sweet treats, baked goods, breakfast and lunch. Anyhow, I'm starving, so let's head over and see Katrina at the Open Door Cafe, where the door is always open. Setting the bar for cafes in Prince George is this coffee nerd, Katrina Wiebe, who's no stranger to carving out her own path in the local food and beverage scene. So Katrina, tell me a little bit about your journey to opening Open Door.
You know what, it has been a wild journey, and I think whenever anybody starts a business, you never fully know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
So it's always full of twists and turns. So we started out as a mobile food truck type idea, minus the truck.
Yeah.
So we had the tent, we had the trailer, you know all about that.
Oh yes.
And we kind of started just operating outside of like farmers markets and big events and things like that. But then winter came and it got cold.
Yeah.
And we made the transition into, we need to look for something a little more permanent. We need walls, we need heating, we need plumbing.
The winters in Prince George are pretty bitter. This year, although, is not a great demonstration of that.
No, it's been weird and mild.
Yeah.
The year we were looking, it was quite cold. It was quite cold. And so we did a little bit of hopping around, a little bit of looking, ended up finding a space in the heart that we decided we wanted to renovate. Of course, renovations take a really long time. So while we were waiting for this building, this space, we did a shipping container and essentially created like a grab-and-go kiosk type style drive-through unit that we could operate the coffee shop out of, be warm, have a little bit more space than a tent, and not have to take everything home every day.
But how was it working from the sea can compared to the tent?
You know what? I think it was great to do it in the baby steps, because now I look at the sea can and I was like, that was uncomfortable. That was tight. It was not as warm as it could have been. It was very hard to make that small space work, but going from the tent to the sea can, it was like, we don't have to take everything home.
Yeah.
We have heating of some form.
Yeah, that pack up and like the unload and then the pack up is a huge amount of the work for sure.
Yeah, anyone who's running a mobile food business, mad respect, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is way more work for what you can do than any other business I've seen.
100%, yeah. I mean, that's like part of the reason why I am so excited to get into my food truck. It's a bit delayed, but yeah.
But it's
eventually I won't have to lift anything ever again.
Yeah, and setting up the tents and braving windstorms in tents. Yeah, it's way better and way nicer. But then moving from that into here was again a huge shift, and we're like, wow, we've been kind of living in this really difficult situation. Not really difficult situation, but it was harder. It was like running in sand opposed to like, wow, the plumbing stays here and the water's always warm. And there's space for everything.
Right, so did you have like pipes freeze and stuff like that when you were
We had a little bit of that, yeah.
Okay.
A little bit of the pipes freezing. It was such a small space and we had the windows, so the biggest problem we had was heating. Especially when it's negative 20, negative 40. You can't keep warm in there.
Yeah.
And then
bundle up in your parka and do service that way.
Yeah. Plumbing was another big one.
Welcome to the north.
Yeah, because we didn't have external plumbing going outside, so we had to carry all of our gross, moldy milk water out every day, multiple times. And if you forgot to, it was a mess, and it wasn't fun.
Right.
And so those little things just make work so much harder than it needs to be.
Amazing.
So now we're here. We have plumbing, we have heating, we have space. It's great.
And such a beautiful place and a drive-through.
To boot, because you need a drive-through. Like, that's kind of the way of the future these days.
Well, I know that like I am pretty lazy myself, especially when it's cold outside, or if you have children, or you know, and there's a variety of reasons. But I know for myself, I definitely will pick a place with a drive-through quite often over something that doesn't.
Yeah, we hear that from a lot of moms, because the minute you drive in to get yourself a coffee, the baby falls asleep. Yeah. Guaranteed.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into the kitchen.
Let's do it.
Okay. So what did you order today at Open Door Cafe?
I ordered a latte today, extra shot, the way I always get it.
Same, I'm the exact same way. Gotta have that extra caffeine in there.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your favorite thing about coming here?
I love studying here. It's a great environment to just camp out and get a lot of work done, and the staff are always super friendly, and so it's just a really positive environment.
Okay, so the key to any good drink is starting with quality espresso. Okay. So whenever we are working with espresso, it's always very important to start with the distribution. So the idea behind espresso is that we are putting high pressure hot water through a compact bed of coffee. Okay. That's called your puck. So
a coffee puck.
A coffee puck.
All right. So Canadian.
It's very Canadian, isn't it? So we're starting by just distributing it, making sure it's nice and even in there, and then compacting it with our tamper. So you're coming out with a nice, smooth, even bed of coffee. Okay. Now, coming over to my espresso machine over here, we have such a fun espresso machine.
It's beautiful, actually. Like, look at this thing.
Levers
it's huge.
And everything. And this is how they originally made coffee, is by pulling the shot of espresso with the lever. Whenever we're pulling our shots of espresso, it's honestly like whenever I'm doing my training with my new baristas, I'm like, you actually gotta like put your shoulder into it. It's got a decent amount of weight behind it.
Yeah. So can I try?
You can, yeah. Okay. So after I let this up, there'll be a second pull. Okay. And I'll let you do that one if that works. You do, when you let it up, want to be very careful that it doesn't slam back. Okay. Very bad for the machine. Okay. So when you pull down, you're gonna pull it down and then ease it up till it takes the weight off.
And then it just slowly goes back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, it's all springs and
levers. Do I need to wait until it goes all the way up?
Yeah, so we're gonna wait till it gets to about here, and then you can grab it. You do wanna hold a second part of the machine that isn't shiny. If it's shiny, it'll burn you.
Okay. I am very afraid.
So I'd grab it here.
Okay.
And then you can grab your lever.
All right.
And pull all the way down.
Oh yeah, that's stiff.
And then ease it up, keeping your pressure on it so that it doesn't slam back on you until it takes the weight off.
It goes, yeah.
Yeah. And then as soon as the weight's off, you can let go.
Okay.
And that's it.
Cool. Yeah. I did it.
You are a barista.
Yeah. Training over.
So from here, we are going to be steaming our milk.
Okay.
So the espresso is the one main part, milk is the second main part. So with any drink, the texture of the milk is huge. It affects the flavor, the sweetness of the coffee, and properly textured milk can actually have a sweetness to it because of the sugars in the milk.
Okay, and you use all the types of milk here, correct?
We do. We've got oat, almond, soy, coconut, lactose-free, whole, 1% skim, all the milks.
Anything you want.
If you can milk it, we've got it.
Okay. So that little comments bring me back to that episode of Friends where Ross is like milking the kitty.
Okay, we don't have that kind of milk.
No kitty milk.
No kitty milk. Okay. So this is where this part takes a lot of technique. Okay. And essentially what we're trying to do is create bubbles. Yeah. And then create a whirlpool that breaks down all those bubbles into a really nice microfoam.
Okay, and this is getting it really hot too.
It is, which is why I have a handle, and my hands get tougher as you go. Yeah. And essentially, you're just gonna go till it gets to the right temp, which as you go as a barista, you learn. Like, I can do it by sound.
Right, and by like the amount of steam coming off and stuff like that.
And how long it takes and all of that jazz.
Okay.
So when we're doing our cinnamon roll macchiato, I'm gonna grab our cup. And we're gonna start with our house-made brown sugar syrup. Okay. Which is essentially brown sugar in a syrup form. We also have our cinnamon syrup, which comes from a syrup maker in France. So good, 1883. I love their syrups. They're one of the more real tasting syrups, less artificial.
And is it difficult, like after like post-pandemic and like supply shortages and stuff? Okay.
No, we work really closely with a local supplier out of Kelowna who ships it in, and it's been great.
Okay,
yeah.
Amazing.
So whenever you're making your drink, you always want to make sure we get that syrup in the bottom. Nobody likes the one sweet sip at the bottom.
Right.
And now when we're making a macchiato, it's actually an upside down latte. So we're pouring in our espresso first, our milk first.
Right.
And then the espresso over top. Marking the foam is what macchiato means, to mark the foam. So we're marking the foam with the espresso.
Okay.
So we've got the brown sugar, cinnamon, milk, espresso, and now for the best part, it's the topping. So we're gonna drizzle it with some white chocolate.
Yummy.
And top it off with a cinnamon sprinkle.
Beautiful.
And that's it. That's a cinnamon roll macchiato.
All right. Can I try it?
This is all yours.
Can I try it? Okay. All right. Let's go. It's delicious. It's so creamy. It's actually not as sweet as, like you said, it was a sweeter coffee. I don't find it overly sweet. I feel like it's really, like very well balanced.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna take another sip here.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. We want to taste the coffee, right? You want the flavors to complement it, but you don't want. You're not here for a sugar drink. You're here for a coffee.
Yeah, you want to taste. You want to taste the coffee.
Yeah, and it's
right?
good coffee, so we want to actually taste it.
Yum.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
No worries.
All right.
Okay.
Let's maybe move on. We'll do a little tour.
Sounds good.
Check out the shop. Okay. All right, Katrina. Why don't you give me a quick tour of your beautiful new space, and we'll talk about some of the vendors that you're highlighting here.
Yeah, so we've got an amazing local artisan section, and this was one of the big parts that I was super excited about when we opened up, is to be an open door, like opening doors for other businesses in town.
Yeah.
Between our baking, the goodies on the wall, our coffee, we source from 35 local businesses.
That's amazing. It's so important to keep the money locally and support each other through business. That's, I mean, we met when we were both in tents.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I've met some of the most amazing people at markets and different events.
Absolutely. And that's how I met so many of the artisans we have on the wall here. And we've got everything. We've got mugs, hot chocolate bombs. We've got specialty like the mushroom products like lion's mane and shanga and stuff like that. We've got things like locally foraged tea. We've got bath bombs.
Yeah, I'm seeing that chaga up there.
Yeah.
And like the teas look amazing. So these are all locally foraged ingredients in the teas.
Yes.
Wow.
And they're amazing. So flavorful. I have every single one at home.
Wow.
And I have yet to be disappointed. They are so good.
I might have to pick some up.
You probably should.
Okay.
Yeah. So probably my most favorite part of the cafe.
Yeah, and you're supporting the community when your dollar stays local.
Yeah, you come here and you're supporting, like I said, 35 local businesses. And that's just, I think, the coolest.
Totally.
Yeah.
Let's maybe check out upstairs.
Let's do it.
You lead the way. What do you love about being here inside Open Door Cafe?
It just feels like home.
Yeah.
We love coming and sitting on the couches and having a coffee, and all of the decor that she has here and the plants, and it feels like home.
Yeah, it's super cozy up here in the upstairs little loft especially.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's a perfect place.
This is my second favorite part of the cafe, and if I'm ever doing paperwork, it's probably up here.
It's super cozy. I love the fireplace.
I don't think there's anything like it in Prince George.
No.
Really. So it's our upstairs loft. We've got the couches, the fireplace, cozy vibes, and
love it. You're a little bit removed from the hustle and bustle of the downstairs too.
Yeah, which is something I really wanted for the cafe. It was a place to come, sit, and chill.
Yeah, read a book.
Exactly.
Be on your laptop. Okay.
And we get that. People will come up with a book and be there for 6 hours, and I love that. That warms my heart so much.
Totally.
Yeah.
Love it. Let's check out the rest of the place. All right. So Christina was just telling me a little bit about this beautiful staircase and railing here. Go right ahead.
So again, this is something that we wanted to be a feature, something we wanted to really like draw the eye and the attention.
Yeah.
The wood is all, my husband milled it all. From the same tree. He did a bar counter at the front here, so it's all one tree.
It's beautiful.
Which is great when you want the woods to match.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
And then we had a local metal worker do the railings for us, which are are
they're
custom
solid.
made.
Like,
They're very solid.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody falling down on those.
and it's beautiful. It's so grand when you walk through the door.
Yeah.
And I just love the separation of that little space up there. It's beautiful. All right, Katrina, thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure, and you really have something special here.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming by.
Okay, now that we are fully caffeinated, we are in downtown Prince George at a local spot that was started in 2017 by 4 friends, and they cure all their own in-house meats, and then they turn them into gourmet sandos to tantalize your taste buds. Let's pop in and meet the chef. We have Chef Warren here. You might also recognize from Petula Burning. Warren, tell us a little bit about the journey from the start of Birch and Boar to now.
Yeah, well, we started Birch and Boar as more of like a charcuterie place, and we still do that quite a bit, but we've geared it more towards like hot lunches and using our smoker. So the smoker we bought for like pepperoni and all these kind of like cured meats, but now we're gearing it towards more like brisket. So the brisket gets very simply rubbed down with Dijon, salt, pepper, and then it's smoked for about 18 hours. It's a big labor of love, and it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, you're taking over the barbecue market, I feel like, a little bit.
Trying to.
Trying to, yeah. So what would you say your like top 5 most popular items at the shop are?
For sandwiches?
Yeah, let's do sandwiches, and then we can do other stuff too.
Yeah, definitely our brisket burnt ends, the porchetta. The burnt ends are like brisket on crack.
Candy, yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we take the brisket, the large portion of the brisket, and then it gets tossed in brown sugar, barbecue sauce, molasses, and then smoked for another 3 hours. So it's
all that
tasty.
good stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely like meat candy, one of my favorites. And then the porchetta is also like one of my passions. It's pork belly wraps around a pork loin. It's like beautiful, it's fatty. It's got some chimichurri on there to cut that fattiness a little bit. It's kind of a classic Italian sandwich. It's very simple again. Like that's what we're doing. We're letting the meat speak for itself.
Meat talks.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, well, let's head back to the line and see what we're making today.
Sure.
All right. All right, Chef Warren, what are we making today?
We'll start off with a BLT.
Okay.
And I think the most important part is the bread. So we have this beautiful ciabatta. It's nice and soft. It's got a crispy outside. We're just going to give it a little bit of a toast.
Yep. Nice chew to that bite.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've got one toasted right here.
The magic of television.
Yeah. And I like there to be a little bit of sweetness in kind of whatever I'm making.
Yeah,
so
okay.
A BLT can be kind of a plain sandwich, and I like to just put a little bit of something extra that you might not expect.
Yeah, you always have to have a little bit of something sweet.
Yeah, so this is a onion jam.
Okay. And where does that one come from?
This guy is Snowdonia Cheese Company.
Okay.
They're BC.
BC, awesome. Yeah. And then what do we have here? Roma tomatoes?
They're just vine ripened, just your standard tomato.
All right. Tomatoes.
So we'll do the bacon. So I have bacon just warming up over here.
Okay, and which bacon did you go with today?
This is the triple smoked.
Triple smoke, all right.
Yeah. So as you know, we have 3 different types of bacon. We have the Nancios, the triple smoked, and the
Chipotle bourbon bacon.
Chipotle bourbon bacon. So
oh my gosh, it smells so good already.
Chipotle aioli on both sides.
Okay.
Bacon on both sides.
So every bite has a piece of bacon.
Don't forget the tea.
Yeah.
Our tomatoes can be a little bit bland, so you always want to put a little bit of salt on there.
Yep.
And we like to go with some classic shreddis.
It's for that extra crunch.
And then white cheddar. So that's it. We're using very simple, delicious, local ingredients.
Yeah.
And then
we give it a little taste.
Gets wrapped in some butcher paper.
So you know what to expect when you come on down for lunch.
And that's it right there.
Ooh, it's loaded. Awesome. Can we give it a taste?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
That's why we're
Cheers.
here.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's so creamy.
a classic BLT, just done a little bit differently.
Yep. It's very well balanced. I love that you salted the tomato.
And that bread's delicious.
Yeah, it's not you know, like overly done. Like sometimes a baguette can stab you in the roof of the mouth.
Yeah,
You know. No, it's got good chew, good crunch, and that little bit of sweetness from the jam, and then from the bacon as well.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
And we'll do the porchetta.
Yep, let's move on to the porchetta. So, porchetta, you said it's pork belly and pork loin.
Yeah, all wrapped up together, and takes about 3 or 4 hours to cook. So
Okay.
that nice slow roast helps like break it down a little bit, keeps it juicy because of the belly.
Yeah. And then it gets that nice crispy skin on the outside.
Yeah, yeah. So we actually also do chicharrones on the side. So a chicharron is a pork skin, and it's been cooked, dehydrated, and then deep fried. So it comes out really puffy. Like,
Right.
It's
Let's pick
actually
one
a
of these
good
up.
like
They're like
yeah,
super
crunchy.
crisp.
It's like a
Bacon puffs.
It's a keto chip as well. Like a lot of keto people will use it as chips.
Yeah.
So I've got that toasted bread again.
All right, so ciabatta. And this is the same aioli from the
Same aioli from the BLT.
from the BLT, okay? A little chipotle. Yeah, if you could just hear it from here. Look at that juice.
It's got the juice. So we'll
Yeah.
load that guy up.
Load it up.
We do about 150 grams of meat on there.
Okay.
And this is a chimichurri. It's kind of just like an herb, citrusy sauce, almost like a pesto,
Okay.
but it's going to help cut the fattiness of this. So it should help out with the balance.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other vegetables on there, right? So
Yeah.
like that's your vegetable portion, a well-balanced sandwich.
Yeah, 90% meat,
Yeah.
10%
I
bread.
mean, aren't the best sandwiches 90% meat?
Yeah. Yeah, so again, like everything here is like very simple, but we're using the top quality ingredients and
Yep.
we're just treating them properly. So that's the porchetta sandwich. It's got the balance from the herb sauce there, and then some crunch from the chicharron, and then all the flavor from that pork.
Yum.
Yeah. This is definitely one of my favorite sandwiches.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
well,
an
and it's a
Italian
newer
treat.
one too, right?
Yeah,
It wasn't
for
on your
sure.
menu too long ago, but look at that. So juicy. Let's go. Alrighty. Like mine has more meat than yours. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Mm. It's a big sandwich. Yeah, it's so juicy. It's like running down my face. I feel like, yeah, something you want to. I just want to take a bath in the chimichurri.
Yeah, and then have a nap afterwards.
Yeah, pretty much.
Definitely.
All
Yeah.
right.
Again, one of my favorite sandwiches. Like, it's got everything you want about bacon. It's a little bit cleaner. It's a little bit like, it's not smoked, so it's
Yeah, juicier than the BLT as far as like the protein goes, but I feel like this one wins out for my heart.
yeah, for sure.
Okay. And you're gonna show me how to roll a little porchetta in the
Yeah,
back?
we'll go wrap the porchetta.
Okay. All right. Gonna teach me a thing or two. Let's go. Okay. So we're here in the back kitchen of Birch and Boar. Chef Warren here is gonna teach me how to wrap a porchetta.
Yeah, so originally a porchetta is like, this is how it comes attached. So it has the pork belly attached to the pork loin. We do so much volume that we can't keep up with that. So we just order a pork belly and a pork loin, and then we're gonna wrap it up together.
Okay.
And we do 1.4% salt
Okay.
of the weight. We just like to keep things consistent, and that's what we found is like the best measure. So we weighed
Right.
this
And what
already
does
out.
the salt do to the meat?
The salt, it just like helps it bring the flavor out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's not like really like curing it or anything. It's just it's there just for like the pure deliciousness of like the reason bacon's so good.
Right.
You know?
Salty meat.
Saltiness.
Okay.
So you wanted to spread that out everywhere?
Sprinkle it out all over the place. Okay. And then where are you guys sourcing your pork from?
Our pork comes from Centennial, so
Okay.
it's all BC pork. I'll just put that over for you.
Thank you. Yeah, nice. Keep it local. Keep that dollar local. All right. Looking pretty good.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, done.
And then we're gonna rub some chimichurri on there. Just want to grab a spoon.
Yep.
And just kind of like
There you go.
smear it all around. So this is what we put on top of the sandwich, but woody roasted in there just helps like bring those flavors out a little bit. So there's our chimichurri.
Give it a smear. Yeah, and what are the herbs that go into the chimichurri?
There's like rosemary, thyme, a lot
Okay.
of chives.
Okay.
Like just very big herbaceous.
And then what? A little like acid, a little
Yeah, there's
oil?
like lemon juice, olive oil, garlic.
Okay.
Sometimes there's anchovies in chimichurri, but not this guy.
Okay.
So we're just gonna put that up there. And then we're gonna truss this.
Trust the roll?
Yeah, trust the process.
Oh, trust.
No, truss.
Trust and
like
trust.
a turkey, yeah. So I'm gonna start up at the very top. Tie that really tight. And then I'm just working my way down.
Okay, so you go and keep it with one continuous strand.
Yeah, yeah.
All the way down.
You can like break it up if you want, but this is just faster.
That makes so much more sense to keep the tension though too.
Yeah. So I'm just like taking it with my left hand on the roll, twisting it so it creates that like X
Yep.
there. And then that creates the next wrap.
And how many of these would you say that you guys do a week?
A week, probably like 5
Wow.
of these guys. Yeah.
Just a little bit of meat, Prince George.
Yeah. Let's just get this out of the way. All right, just 2 more.
All right, and then after it's wrapped up, what's the cook? How do you do the cook on it?
We get it in at about 8 a.m. and it cooks for 3 hours. So
Okay.
it's right at 11 o'clock. It comes out ready for your sandwiches.
Ready for lunch service, fresh out of the oven.
Yeah, and we roast it this way because the fat in the pork belly helps like baste all the meats
Right.
and make it all delicious. Yeah, like 3-4 hour cook time.
At what temp?
325.
Okay,
Yeah.
a little bit lower.
Yeah, anything slow roasted is
Gonna keep all that juices in.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, Chef Warren, thank you so much for having me today. You guys really never disappoint here at Birch and Boar. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, and online. And till next time, everybody, this is Baller Bites.
Yeah, thank you.